Is there like a minimum standard that if you want to study abroad, or the minimum amount you should have is say 10 million, 20? Is there like a minimum, or it still depends on the school and course that you've selected?
Just have it in mind that you cannot travel with 2 million naira. You cannot also travel with 5 million naira.
Okay.
You understand? Because when you look at all these things, your flights, sometimes your flights could even be 2 point something, 3 million, depending on the country you're going to. You don't just wake up like I woke up the other time I said I want to study abroad without the savings. Or you hear somebody, your neighbor, who's just close by you, the next day you hear that he has traveled. It happens many a time. See people, their friend traveled last week, somebody traveling in their company last week, and the next thing, boom, they want to also travel. They don't know what the friend and that neighbor have been putting on ground for years. You understand?
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another special episode on the Relocation Room. And with me, I also have another special guest. He has lots of years of experience in the industry. So this is an opportunity for you all to sit back, relax, and listen to the wealth of wisdom while we, engage on the topic for today, which is building student trust before their first application. Right? All you need to know about who you should trust before applying to your study abroad. So I want to say a big welcome to Mr. Henry Isaac Ideozu. It does. So sorry if I pronounced it wrong.
When you were making the introduction, I had to put up some smiles.
Yeah.
Basically, just giving the introduction.
Yes.
I'm Henry Isaac Ideozu, and it's nice
having you on the show.
Yeah, and also the same nice being here at the relocation room.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So before we dive into it, just for context, so we'd like people they want to know what your working experience has been, is like, and what motivated you into this industry, into this line, and then also to start up Billions Consult, Education Consult.
Well, basically, it's not going to be a strange story.
Okay.
You would hear that every entrepreneur or business owner would have one story or the other, but in a nutshell, you see that there will be similarities of stories.
Okay.
And so, just like an average person, a normal Nigerian person, of course, there is always a need for you to start something when life hits you. You understand? So, and many a times, so it seems to do good in areas that we have long or somehow suffered on. Yeah, I remember a time I was interested in traveling abroad, so I wanted it by all means. So I had to I went to one business center, I saw a place with the roads, study abroad and stuff like that. I went to this, I went to that. They said pay this, pay that, that kind of stuff. And to be sincere, I just woke up and I felt like I need to travel. The passion and everything just boiled up without having any savings. So by the time I went there and they told me the pros and the cons and everything, the financial implication and everything, I had to also make commitment for the consultation. And then I spent money, and after everything, it looked like it was not going to be achieved. It looked so like a big mountain. So to cut the story short, I did my diploma, blah, 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 and stuff like that. I was fortunate to, before I even did my BLC, I had to just say, okay, since going there for undergraduate is going to be expensive, let me see if I can hit up for the masters, stuff like that. So basically, I had to, run around. To cut the story short, I happened to get a chance for a job somewhere. And then it was the most beautiful thing that's happened to me, like getting to work in a place that will help me travel abroad. Just like what you're looking for in Sokoto, you now have it in your Sokoto. That kind of words now. So I that was how the journey started. And all through that period to date, it has been amazing, even if we have also had some ups and downs. So I left there and they started my own business, and then the story is long, but every businessman would have something to say. But then it's always very sweet when we talk on the success story. Nobody talks about the other parts, the silent days, the lonely nights, when you're putting things and stuff like that. So, but today we are very happy that we are making headway and we are making lots of progress. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I should be in my 8th to 9th year in the industry. It has been like a kind of part-time and full-time. There were times I was working part-time, and then when you sum them up together, I think it should be my 8 years in the industry.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive. So that brings us to our first question in what we're talking about. There's so much information online when it comes to study abroad or studying abroad. Just like you two, you had to do your own research, move here, there, and there. So my question now is, can students really trust study abroad consultants now, or they should rely on what it is that they see on the internet more?
Interesting question. But before I begin, first of all, I would say yes, and yes, and yes, and yes all the time, even in time to come. So, but then, you and I would know that every car would need a driver.
Sure.
Every boat would need a sailor.
Sure.
Every plane would need a captain.
Sure.
Now, what are the functions of these key personalities I mentioned? They help you navigate your way. They help you make what seems to be suffering to be easy. I'm not trying to, play that on. Sometimes you can get into the wrong hand and stuff like that. So, but then the question will not come: who is a consultant? You understand? A consultant is an expert educator, an advisor who directs students, parents / guardian, and institutions. You see, we have a lot of work. We direct students, we direct their parents, we also guide the instructors on how to deal with our student and what should be what should be put in place for the betterment of the student. So more or less, I can actually say we are like in the educational industries, we should be regarded as mentor, people who take pain for people, because sometimes it's not what you see physically that's really what is going on. We have times we have to be on calls, you have to be initiating emails, and of course experience will tell a lot. Fine, there is this mentality here in Africa, what I term as DIF, do it yourself. Do it yourself. You understand? DIY. Yeah, DIY. Do it yourself. It's a mentality that's very paramount among Africans, where people will just venture into businesses, venture into areas that they have no privy information. Sometimes it could work, sometimes they get it wrong. But in a normal balance, in a well professional environment, in an organized society, there's always room for consultants. Now, what is you call it the online space? That's the social media. What is the social media? Social media, I could just say, it's a virtual environment. It's an area where people communicate, or a platform where people communicate through web page, social media, and then you have to be connected to a device. If you're not connected to a device, you don't have the communication flowing. You understand? And basically, with research recently, it has been shown that the online space happens to be one of the major places where scams and fraud take place. I'm not downplaying on the fact that you cannot fall into a wrong agent. You understand? But then you'll be more secured when you work with a consultant than the online space. So it's a yes for you for the...
because like with the consultants, there's the experience, you can see the evidence, all of those things, versus that's a very good one. So thank you for that. Then the second thing now we've been saying is visa is very important for students, especially in the study abroad space. Visa. So now, should study abroad agencies, should they be disclosing how many? Because you tell them, you hear people say you get your visa 100% visa guarantee, all of those things. So should study abroad agencies and consultants, having said that, should they start saying how many people that they've given these visas to as a way of proof? Or how do students verify all of these informations that these agencies and agents are also giving?
Well, to me, I don't think it's necessary for you to, putting up numbers you have helped So if you are going to be putting numbers that have gotten it successful on you, are you going to also tell us the number of people that have failed to get it? You understand?
Yeah.
So I feel that every profession have some characters. That's what they call professional ethics. So, but most importantly in this industry, results speaks better. You understand? Now, we're not also going to doubt the fact that sometimes you're going to have rejection. And let's look at it this way. Do you think the world would be so sweet if you wake up one day, everything you ever needed in your life is there? You don't have to walk. You just turn this way, it's there. Nobody fights. Everybody does good thing, and then nothing is happening. At some point, you see people protest that this thing is boring. You understand? Now, these rejections, these failures, these no's stare us. They push us to the length of, I want to be something, and there's something is telling you no. You have to prove to that thing that you're not that no they projected you to. The stories will be sweet. Sometimes if you had rejections, and then someday you keep pushing, if you had, let go of it, you wouldn't have gotten what you are today or what you are planning to get. You understand?
Yeah.
So now what am I trying to say? In every line of business, there should be a character. And in every line of business, there is always ups and downs. It is fine for you to want to tell students, okay, this is how many students have passed through me and have gotten success. If somebody who has passed through you and didn't get success hears you projecting, and then how would the person feel like, well, I passed through you and I didn't get that success? It's going to be a sort of discouragement to somebody, to be an imbalanced situation. So what I would advise students to do, prospective students, is go for what works. Sometimes I could actually meet you and it will not work with you. Somebody else will come and it will work for the person. So I know that it will be painful in scenarios like that. Maybe you go to somebody and it doesn't work and somebody else go and then hear the story. You'll not feel bad. But the bottom line is, know your agents. Funny enough, many a times I get students from referrals, not really from the social media platform. I do social media platform, but the number of students I've gotten through referrals are more compared to the people I get online. That is to tell you that despite how the online is looking so, plummy and fruitful these days in terms of marketing and all the rest, people still doubt the credibility on it. So we should just maintain our success and our failure information. Let's focus on who knows this job. As a student, don't be looking at how many people he has done for. How many people, you hear stories that will discourage you sometimes. Sometimes you could hear a story that encourages. So first of all, when you meet an agent, you are bound to communicate with the agent. What you should even be thinking of, what's the experience of this agent? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, of course, you have the social media to ask some questions about travel abroad. At least you could come up with those questions. You ask the agent, if I do this, if I do that, what is it? And what's the repercussion of this? There's some information and engagement that you're going to have with your agent that will actually, reveal the kind of person he is. And of course, referral is another thing.
Okay.
You understand? Referral, people have passed through the person will definitely tell you if you know one or two or stuff like that. So I do not think that agents should be revealing the success rate, and if we are revealing the success rate, also reveal the failure rate also. But it's not really necessary. What is going to work is going to work. So that's what I can say about it.
Yeah, I totally understand. And why we ask that question is because we're trying to protect the students' interest as well. Because these are the things that they hear that pulls them. I think our last guest said something about black agents. So, it really supports what it says that,
Do you know something about it? It's actually a good one for you to advertise yourself. But I bet you if I have 10 refusers, for instance, and I have 5 acceptance, there's no way I'm going to tell you that I have 10 refusers. I'll definitely market myself to the point that you will not be able to resist my products.
Sure.
So let's just be sincere to ourselves.
Yeah, I totally understand. Thank you very much. So The other question, are some students being pressured to apply to schools that benefits agency more than the students, right? And why we're asking that question is because there are so many schools, and we've come to understand that um, the student's requirements or the student's document, what the student has as well plays an important role. So, but then we're hearing of cases where rather than advise, say, maybe a cheaper school or something, the agencies would then advise another school.
That will benefit them.
So, what's your take on that?
Well, basically, every agent needs a student.
Yeah.
Students are our products. Like every businessman, let's say for instance, you're selling something, you're doing a provision store. You'll notice that the products in your shop are your profit and everything. So having that consciousness that students are your products, it is then not pertinent for you to ask your students what he or she wants.
Yeah.
I normally do that whenever a student comes to me. I would ask you, what do you want and what do you have? I am not going to be going for something that will benefit me at the detriment of the student.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and then also understanding, sorry, I like biting my lips sometimes peeves also. I don't know.
That's fine.
So, I hope you pause on.
Yeah, don't worry. You can always cut out. That means you need them lip balm or something.
The funny thing is, I do it most times and I just forget. I will just be the one to lick it off.
True.
So, I hope nothing is flinging.
Yeah. On camera, everything is still crisp, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, very.
So, like I was saying, I would want to know the aspiration of the student, their passion, and why they are going for this course. I look at their credentials. I would have to look for something within their reach, because it would be meaningless if a student eventually travels when he or she gets there and then they discover that this is not what I was actually looking at for in terms of the financial implication. They begin to suffer. So what's the benefit? At some point, you're going to lose out in business. Instead of them to refer you to people, they will get angry. He miscancelled me. You understand? So it is usually very good for you to fall within the ambit of the student expectations. This is the course I did. This is what is going to work for the student. And this is what I can. We have universities. Just as the name implies, so is their financial implications. We have big universities. We have the middle, the ones that, we surely have things that will fall within your budget.
Okay.
So I do not think it's ideal for agent to take advantage of the student because of their personal interest. So student is our number one priority, and their comfort is something that I don't play around with.
Thank you for watching the show. So my name is Dennis and I'm a payment consultant with the Relocation Room. And what we simply do is we help our study abroad partners help you make your payments to your international school. And the advantage is that we help them save at least 80 to 150,000 naira plus on whatever payment that they need to make. So for you watching right now, if you're a student looking to make payment for your study abroad, tuition, IHS, visa, accommodation, living expense, no problem. Send us a DM, call the number on your screen, or send an email, and we'll send you a free quote. And one thing I can assure you is that your payment will help you save nothing less than 80 to 150,000 naira plus on whatever amount you need to pay to your school. So we look forward to hearing from you. Peace.
So,
speaking of budgets, is there like a minimum standard, regardless of the school that you're going to or you want to go to? Is there like a minimum standard that if you want to study abroad, or the minimum amount you should have is say 10 million, 20? Is there like a minimum, or it still depends on the school and course that you selected?
Well, altogether, depending on the school, the course selected, they are also, at prima facie, very important.
Okay.
You understand? So, but then, you don't just wake up like I woke up the other time I said I want to study abroad without the savings. You don't just wake up one morning and say I want to study abroad. Or you hear somebody, your neighbor, who's just close by you. The next day you hear that he has traveled. It happens many a time. See people, their friend traveled last week. This one, somebody traveling in their company last week, and the next thing, boom, they want to also travel. They don't know what the friend and that neighbor have been putting on ground for years. You understand? Studying abroad is not 1,000 naira expenses. It's a millions and millions expenses. You have to save. You have to be intentional before you can study abroad. You understand? And now, the good thing why budget is very, very important is that we have categories, we have countries. If your budget cannot meet up this country, you can take off this one. If it doesn't meet up for this one, you can take off that one. But the bottom line is just have it in mind that you cannot travel with 2 million naira. You cannot also travel with 5 million naira.
Okay.
You understand? Because when you look at all these things, your flights, sometimes your flights could even be 2 point something, 3 million, depending on the country you're going to. So I don't want to spill the, or let the cat out of the bag by telling you need to have this specific amount. I think this is where I would come in, consultation will come in. You come to our office or you come to me, okay, like how much do I need to have?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. So now somebody wants to study abroad and they're saying, okay, I want to work with you. I want to go to, they are watching this video now. Okay, I want to visit your office. What's the process like? What would it be like for them working with you? Okay, I want to study abroad. I'm at Billions Consult. What's the process like?
It's not going to be strange from what you might be hearing from people. You come into our office, we talk, and then we talk about the destinations. I look at your credentials, then I can advise you on where to go. You understand? So are you trying to is there a consultation fee for our services?
No, like what the process is like. So they come in, what are the questions you'll be asking them? Should they come with specific documents to the office?
Of course, definitely they will come with documents. If you just want to come and get the information before you go gather yourself, it's still fine. And better, more preferred way, you can actually write us on our WhatsApp or we have our website. You just write us, we talk. We can explain everything that we want from you, the documents, and then what you should put into consideration. So maybe when you want to come to the office, at least know the people you're talking with and have a kind of a like face-to-face communication, at least for your fear to be, taken away before you make any financial implication or stuff like that.
Okay, that's very great to hear. And then another last question before we let you go. So we've also seen a high rate of visa refusal. As an expert in the industry, what could you say is what's causing this?
Well, it's very obvious that we need not to consult a prophet nor a prophetess for we to know what is happening. The world is revolving, the world is changing. You understand? So doors are being shut, some doors are opening. Africans, we are a people that sometimes, or many a times, we are very loud with our information. Something happens for Mr. A, something happens to Mr. B. Not like we are the only people walking on this earth. There are other people, other countries doing what we are doing, but you barely can see them so laudable. You come and expose what you're doing. This one will come, expose all in the name of maybe we are looking for, influence,
like that student who went online and said all those things.
Exactly. So by the time you spill all these things, these people are also watching us. So it's like we are abusing or we are downplaying on their intelligence. You understand? So for that reason, and oftentimes they've also seen what some African countries are capable of doing. In the international space, over time, I discovered that even Ghana is more respected than Nigeria. We're people with lots of talent, no doubt about that. But in terms of coordination and organization, like organizing, comporting ourselves in the international space, very few of us behave where we get there and then you see some people, Nigerian, you keep hearing Nigerian, this, Nigerian, that. The issue of marriages, women getting abroad, men getting abroad, investing, divorce, divorce there, divorce there, to the point that they now know that, oh, these people are actually, planning this marriage stuff. Not like it's a remarriage.
Right.
And sometimes, oh, these people, they came here, they married correctly. Now, because of the benefits, what they are going to benefit, they have no let hair loose. They want to be parted ways and stuff like that. These things have raised an eye where they now suspect every Nigerian that wants to travel out. So the countries are also, the economic issue is also hitting everywhere in the world. People are trying to be careful, know the kind of people you're bringing in. And then, of course, we want more people who are going to invest. It's a business, opening their doors to us for we to travel for education. They are benefiting a lot. If you're not benefiting, I bet you all the doors will be shut. Yeah. So that is why you see that there's an eagle eye on the visa processes. There's a kind of a lot of scrutiny. Now, having the money for traveling is not a bargain to them. They just want to know if this person is coming for studies, let it be for study. And for studies, they not feel like you have to be very, very intelligent, very, very smart for you to say, I don't want to study in my country because I'm some sort of person that is special.
Okay.
So I want to study elsewhere. Not like a scholarship. Like, they give scholarship to people who are very smart.
True.
Those students don't get scholarship in the real essence. So they're not using this angle to attack people from Nigeria. So even if you have your money and have everything, they also set up some questions or some scrutiny that would test your intelligence. Once you flaw in any of this, that's a refusal.
Yeah, because I was even going to ask, this Olodo syndrome thing.
Exactly.
So how is that also seeping into the study abroad space? Is it affecting there's the cultural difference? Because you've mentioned behavior.
Yeah.
And in terms of the behavior now, should I say is the responsibility of the study abroad agencies as you are educating these people on what the processes are? Should we also start the cultural difference, preparing them for
is that we've made that mistake in the past where we see students are just profits, sending them there, let them go, you make your money and you go your way. We have to, take it upon ourselves to also educate them. This is not your land that you're going. It's not your village. It's not your community. It's not your state. This is somebody else's place.
Yeah, so if someone was eating amala on the road.
And these people put in good system.
Yeah.
Before it attracted you to want to leave your country. So when you get there, it's either you behave like them or you know how to, navigate your way.
Yeah.
Not bringing your culture, your lifestyle, your way of behaving to theirs, making it overtly.
You understand? Someone was selling akara.
Exactly. So this thing we have to, work on ourselves. That's why I say we are very laudable. The abroad journey should be for specialists, people who are more intelligent and everything. I'm not saying that I'm not castigating people who are illiterate or something.
No, I get you. It's an expensive investment. So
exactly. So if you're putting up money, piling up money that you want to go abroad, you should know what is taking you there. Don't just go there because other people are going, and then you get there, next thing they bundle you back to your country after spending lots of money. So I think it's high time. And now this is where it comes in. This is where an agent also comes in. Because of the red eye on the industry, it now becomes very pertinent that professionalism and experience will speak. Because now it's not like that time where some people just go and do their visa by themselves and next thing, boom, they get their visa. Now it has to be lots of work. You understand? I have had a visa refusal. I'm not going to lie about it. I've had success with lots of application for the years that for me to be in business today, that's to tell you that I have probably and definitely seen the ups and downs. You understand? Now we don't just die. We don't just do application the way we used to do it in terms of visa applications. You calm down. We are thinking like the embassy guys. They are using their mindset. So you are asking question. You when you're treating it now, you be the one you consider yourself as an agent. You ask yourself top question. You ask the applicant top question. So you now attack it from the other end. Okay, when this person says this, this is what they need. So it's a lot of work. It's not something that you will just wake up and do it.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, this is if there's any time you need the consultation of an agent, it's now. You can't play down on them now.
Yeah. Because this is where they step in with the experience and actual technical know-how.
Exactly.
Reduces all of the lapses and failures.
Exactly.
And all of those things.
Exactly.
That's great. So for those of you who are interested in studying abroad, we're going to leave Mr. Henry's email in the description below. So you can send in an email to book a consultation with him and his agency, and then I can assure you all the information you need to have, you will definitely get it. And all of the consultation, everything to make it easy for you, you will definitely get it from them. So thank you once again for joining us, and until next time, see you.
Yeah, but before then, sorry for cutting you off. Before then, I just want to tell you guys something. It is good to study and live in your country, or better to study abroad. You understand? Better to study abroad. And sometimes you wouldn't know the opportunity that awaits you. And then also think about it this way. You are born here, bred here. You still want to die here without crossing the border? You understand?
Sure.
You should go elsewhere. Abraham could not, for the Christians, could not maximize himself until he traveled. So sometimes what you might even be thinking that in our village people might just be change of environment. Yeah. So do everything possible, if possible, all of you to travel.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very beautiful one. Thank you very much for that nugget. All right. Until next time.
See you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.